So, a new Ghostbusters teaser came out, and well, I haven't really talked too much about Ghostbusters on here. I think I may have mentioned the reboot from 2016. People call it the all girl Ghostbusters, other people call it Ghostbusters 2016. I used to call it Ghostbusters 3 for a while because I didn't think there was going to be a Ghostbusters 3. I guess I'm wrong. Apparently, there is going to be a Ghostbusters 3. A new teaser came out, and people are saying that Bill Murray is a part of it, and he's going to be playing Peter Venkman, and it's going to be canon with the old movies. And what a lot of people wanted from the 2016 reboot was a passing of the torch moment where Peter Venkman and maybe some of the other characters. I know Harold Ramis has died in real life, so he was the only person who didn't really cameo in the new Ghostbusters movie. But maybe the rest will appear as their actual characters. Everyone else was in the last Ghostbusters movie, but they weren't themselves. And I guess some people are excited about it, but for me, part of the reason why I wasn't very happy about the 2016 Ghostbusters movie, part of it is the actor choices. Because yes, they went for an all-female cast, and yes, they did it purely to be controversial. It's just taking something that pre-exists and then just completely changing it to be all females. That's not really the same thing as uh, I don't even know. I don't even know how to describe that. Like, to me, I don't know. Is that feminism? Is that what is that what that is? Like, really, I don't even know if that's what that is. I know feminists get behind that and say, like, good, make men mad, make men upset. But it's like, but it's but as an actual product being sold by a company to do that to their own fans, like, when it's an artistic parody, I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I feel like but to actually do that to your own fans who want to celebrate the thing they like, and then you throw out that movie and you're like, here's a middle finger to all of our fans, and it's like, okay, who's going to watch the movie? Maybe we'll make new fans. Okay, they didn't. Like, no one cared. But part of why they didn't care is not because of the actors. If the movie was stronger, if the movie had better writing, if the directing was better, if the jokes were better, if the story was better, if the plot was better, that would have carried the movie. That would have made the movie good. Okay, because a good movie isn't held down by stupid shit like weird politics that have nothing to do with a movie. And if a movie's good, it's good. If a movie's bad, it's bad. There's you know that's just how it is. And this movie really wanted to be carried on its, I don't even know what it was trying to be carried off the Ghostbusters name while without showing any respect to the original Ghostbusters. And it's like, okay, this is just a soulless cash grab at this point. And when you look at the plot and you look at a lot of the comedy style, it's very different. You could tell that these people really aren't fans of the original, and it's really disheartening. It really pretty much ruins any attempt, any possible chance of any old fan respecting the new movie or enjoying it in any way. Because when you, it's like when J.J. Abrams did Star Wars Episode 7, that made me really happy because he was going back to the very originals, and you could tell he was paying homage to the original trilogy with Episode 7, not just with the writing having like a similar story, as a lot of people would like to point out, but also in the way that's shot, in the way it's edited, in the way they used their special effects. They're definitely trying to bring Star Wars back to its roots. On location, not just behind green screens the whole time. Building giant sets. Making the action shots way better to watch than the prequels, which were mostly just guys in front of green screens hitting each other with sticks. This was like This was just incredible to watch. Episode 7 was done so well. And, a lot of people hate the new Star Wars movies, but really, Episode 8 was the one that where all the hate really exploded. Episode 7 was a lot different. Episode 7 had a pretty positive reception. People really enjoyed that movie. And I was hoping they could do something like that with this Ghostbusters movie, but you could tell they don't even understand the style of humor. They just know Ghostbusters was a comedy, but they don't even understand the style of humor that Ghostbusters had. And when you look at all those factors, and you say, okay, but they're doing a new Ghostbusters movie that has nothing to do with the all girl one that no one liked, and has all to do with the originals. No, that's not how it works. You have to demonstrate that the comedy style is going to go back to the originals. Now, using actors like Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd is a good start. Having them on the writing team is a good start because part of why those movies are funny is because of their acting. It's part of because of who they are. Bill Murray was just being Bill Murray in Ghostbusters. He wasn't playing a character. He was just being himself. He was just, making the same kind of jokes he makes in every fucking movie he's in. And then Dan Aykroyd, like another 80s goddamn legend over here. Like, Dan Aykroyd can play characters, and he could do it pretty well. And he was playing this little, like, nerdy man-child character. And, you know, that's, it's something that other people could possibly do, but they didn't even attempt to do that. They didn't even try to do that with the new one. In the new one, everyone is like a kid. Everyone has stupid motivations. Everyone is really hard to relate to. It's almost like watching Anchorman 2, where no one is acting like human at all, and it ruins the entire experience, because if you can't relate to the characters to some level, then, they're not going to be very strong characters. You can't have every character be the laughable joke. You need some straight characters to, so people can latch onto. But I think most people already agree, like, why the 2016 movie is bad. Most people agree. Like, even the people who went to give it a shot, even the people who were like, I don't care about the controversy. I'm gonna go watch it, just give it an honest shake. And even those people were like, it's just nothing special. It's just a completely forgettable movie that just happens to use the Ghostbusters name. And I think the controversy is the only reason why anyone went and saw it. Ghostbusters, that movie did really, really bad. Did really poorly. And, but again, it's like people always say, like, movies do bad. And then, like people said Solo did bad, but it was the 10th best movie this year, like, as far as sales-wise. So, like, sometimes Sony wanted Ghostbusters to be a huge blockbuster hit, hitting Marvel numbers. Ghostbuster was not going to hit Marvel numbers. Maybe if it tried harder to appeal to the classic movies, but the whole time spitting in the classic movies' face, and basically not trying to emulate them at all, not trying to bring them to the modern era, not trying to show why people like the Ghostbusters. When you don't even... What a bad practice. What a bad idea. How stupid do they have to be? Like, and this is well documented. This is very well documented. People rip apart that movie. There's nothing I could say that hasn't already been said. But when it comes to this new movie, it really confuses me. It really baffles me why they think people will all of a sudden turn around and say, now we like you. Now we like you. No, you've put such a bad taste in so many of our mouths. I think this just makes... It's like... Okay, so here's what they did with the 2016 movie. They shoved the middle finger in the face of all the old fans, hoping to attract new fans. And then when they did that, the new fans were like, Ghostbusters is stupid. It's okay, but it's whatever. Who cares? It's not cool. So, okay. So they got rid of their old fans, and they didn't really make any new fans. No one, obviously that Ghostbusters movie does not have the cult following that the original ones did for a reason. And so they decide to make a new movie. But now they're shoving a middle finger into the fans of the people who liked the 2016 one. So basically, the little fans they had, the little people, the super ultra feminists who just love the idea of men being salty so much that they will just enjoy a movie based off of that alone, because every scene they think about how it upsets someone else. Now they see this and they're like, what the fuck? Like, the one thing that gave them joy, now they don't care anymore. So all they've done is alienated literally everyone. There's no one left to watch Ghostbusters. There's no one left to care. 2016 was only 2 years ago. Or, well, it's early 2019 now. So it's not quite 3 years ago yet. But it's a little over 2 years ago. And in 2020 is when this Ghostbusters movie is supposed to come out. That is 4 years for a reboot. 4 years to reboot. Just for the record, Amazing Spider-Man came out, I think 5 years after. Yes, because Spider-Man 3 came out in 2007. And Amazing Spider-Man came out in 2012. Yep, just double checked. Yep. Spider-Man 3 came out in 2007, and Amazing Spider-Man came out in 2012, which is a 5-year gap before doing a reboot. And I remember people knew they were going to reboot Spider-Man after 3, but I'm pretty sure trailers didn't even really start happening until that year, 2012, when they were trying to sell the idea of a new Spider-Man movie that's a complete reboot. And while that is a huge embarrassment, Sony is doing it again. Remember, Sony's the ones who rebooted Amazing Spider-Man. They're the ones who did the Amazing Spider-Man fiasco. And here they are, after one Ghostbusters movie, doing a new Ghostbusters movie. So what's the deal? Are they going to do both continuities? Are they going to do the new version and do movies of the old versions? It's so confusing, especially when the last one had all those cameos from the old movies, which is a horrible idea, by the way, because it completely distracts from what's going on in the actual movie. But at this point, there's no way to watch a movie with the Ghostbusters name without thinking about all the fucking politics and the stupid shit. The stupid fucking thing that happened is that the original, when the new one was being announced, people would, and I was being salty about it, people would tell me it doesn't change the old ones. The old ones are still there. You can still go back and watch the old ones. This is for new fans. So this isn't for you. You can just go watch the old ones. I cannot look at someone wearing a Ghostbusters t-shirt. I cannot see someone looking at the Ghostbusters logo on a shirt or on merchandise at all without thinking about the horrible, stupid Hollywood politics trying to milk people for money as much as they possibly can. And that's when I mean it, I can't stop thinking about the politics. I'm not talking about, there shouldn't be politics in movies. Of course there's going to be politics in all media. That's unavoidable. But I can't stop thinking about these stupid decisions that pretty much ruined all of Ghostbusters. And people say, the classics are still there. No, they're really, yes, they are, but the franchise is completely ruined. Sony has effectively completely destroyed the entire Ghostbusters legacy, and almost to the point where it's even if you listen to the song, you have to think about the stupid blunder. You can't, when you fuck up that bad, it is unavoidable. You can't just sweep it under the goddamn rug. And when you only wait a few years to try to be the last one doesn't matter, people are still going to remember that. People are going to see that teaser, and if they don't read any of the text about it being about Bill Murray, they're going to think it's about the old. They're going to think it's about the movie that just came out in 2016. They're going to think about the rebooted franchise. You can't just keep rebooting a franchise every time you fuck up. You need to own your mistakes, and you also need to stop milking the same IP over and over. Eventually, you need to move on to a new IP or create a new IP, create an original IP. And you know what would have been way better than rebooting Ghostbusters? Is if they made a fucking parody movie, not even a parody, but like a movie inspired by Ghostbusters about four people fighting something else. It could be ghosts if they really wanted to. There's nothing wrong. It's look at all the people who've made zombie movies. You can do it. You can make it a movie where a team of people get together just to fight ghosts. You can do that. But don't make a Ghostbusters movie unless you're actually trying to make a Ghostbusters movie. Don't just use the franchise to make money. And that's what's going on. And that's what's going on with the new one too. I can't possibly see how this is not just an endeavor to make as much cash as possible off the name and milk the franchise until it's completely dry and dead. And at this point, it seems like it is. It seems like there's no hope for Ghostbusters. It's, the franchise has completely been killed in the waters. Now, I bought Lego Dimensions, and in Lego Dimensions, I ended up buying the Peter Venkman Ghostbusters playset thing, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed playing through Ghostbusters with the Ghostbusters. I really enjoyed Lego Dimensions because you can put Superman and Batman and Finn and Sonic in all these other scenarios. I also I had Homer as well. So I really enjoyed like having all of those characters and going to the different worlds. I had also had the Doc from Back to the Future, and using him. That game was really fun for that reason, but um, uh, it's like I don't know. I love the old Ghostbusters a lot, but I don't know if it'll ever be. I just don't know, man. I just don't know. I just don't think that a modernized take on Ghostbusters could possibly work. So I'll leave it at that. While I really do like the franchise, I really have no faith in the future at all. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'll let you guys decide. I'm sorry it's been a while since I made a video. I am in the process of moving and haven't had as much time to record, and also not as much to talk about, as I'm not trying to preach to the choir. Usually when I'm making a video that's not just talking about a game I'm super passionate about, it's me trying to make a point about something else. So, for example, I'm not just going to make a video talking about why I like the Spider-Man trailer, because you can see for yourself why it's good. But when I have a unique and interesting opinion, that's when I'm going to bring it up. And so I wanted to bring up my opinion on Ghostbusters, even though I know a lot of people probably already like done with the franchise. I still wanted to say my 2 cents here, for differing opinions. So it's like versus like if I talk about Mortal Kombat 11, I'm just gonna say it looks really fucking good. So yeah, all right, I'm gonna wrap this video up right here. See you guys on the next one.